Have you ever needed to look into a really tight space to see what is going on? Actually, I kind of need to right now. Welcome to the Hippie Geeks. Let's take a look at the DXZtoz two-way articulating borescope and see if it is going to let me get a look at the backside of our car's engine. First up, let's get this unit out of its box. The first thing you are going to see is the very nice case that this unit comes with, which should keep it nice and protected when you have it stored away. There is a pouch on the top of the case that holds the various extras, and let's see what they sent with it. First up is a small plastic vial, and this is holding 3 different ends that you can slide onto the end of the camera. The most interesting one in here is the hook end, which will let you grab onto something like a wire with the camera once you have located it, or even something like a wrench that you have dropped in a very inconvenient place. Next up there is the USB charging cable, along with some lens cleaning supplies. The other side of the pouch has the instruction manual, which you may want to look at when you are getting used to the camera controls. Now, let's take a look at the camera itself. After releasing the clasp that holds the protective flap over the screen closed, we get our first look at the very nice 4.3-inch IPS screen, and the nice thing about a unit like this is that you don't have to worry about connecting to an app on your phone to use it. The whole thing is one unit. You can see that it comes with a storage card already, which should hold plenty of footage that you may want to record. That's right, not only is this a scope, it will also record pictures and video so that you can reference it later. The other piece of this unit that we need to look at is the control handle and extremely long camera end itself. The control handle is fairly simple, and the thing you are going to want to pay the most attention to is the large dial on the side, as this is what is going to articulate the camera head back and forth so that it can even look all of the way back, which means you are always going to be able to get the angle that you need to see. Next up, let's go ahead and get these 2 pieces connected so that we can try it out and see how well it works. All you need to do is slide the handle into the slot on the bottom of the screen, and once it is in place, turn the little lever on the back to lock it in place. After that, you just need to hit the power button on the far left, and the screen will power up and show you what the camera is looking at. First up, let's look at the controls on the handle itself. The top button will let you use a small amount of digital zoom, which should be pretty helpful. The button to the right of that is going to be what turns the light at the end of the borescope on and off. Finally, the button on the left side is what is going to take pictures or video. If you tap it, it will take a photo, and if you hold it down, it will start taking a video. Tap it again to stop the recording, and now all of that will be on the memory card that the unit came with. The next control to take a look at is the image flip, which is second from the right. This will just flip the image on the screen, which can help you to figure out what you are looking at. The rest of the controls will be used to look at the stored footage on the memory card, but now let's actually start using this thing and see how it works. What we are looking at here is the engine bay of our 1989 Chevy Celebrity, and this thing is a bit of a turd to be honest. There are a couple of things I need to check out though. On the back of the motor, I need to see just how bad the valve cover gasket is looking on the rear bank of cylinders, and then in the front, I need to see what the bolts are that are holding the coil packs in place. With that said, let's get the DXZtoz borescope hooked up and get a look at the back side of the motor. You can get a really good look here at just how long the borescope actually is, so you should have no problem reaching into any space to take a look at it. Once I had it all out of the packaging and assembled, the first thing I did was to make sure that I had the light on its brightest setting by using that button on the handle that we looked at earlier, then leaned over the engine and stuck the camera behind the motor and the firewall to see what was going on back there. Let's switch over to the video I took from the scope itself and see how it looks. The video that the camera captures is going to be 1280 by 720 pixels at 15 frames per second. This is not a high-speed camera by any means, but it does take a very serviceable video and is definitely letting me see what is going on back there. No surprise, but the valve cover gasket is completely shot and definitely needs replaced. That is a bit of a pain in the rear end with this vehicle as the entire intake has to come off as well, but at least I know what it looks like back there now and just how bad it is. It definitely takes a minute to get yourself oriented and to figure out how to move the scope around, but once you get the hang of it, you can really see a lot. I actually took a look from several different angles around the car, and I will definitely be using this thing in the future as we are always working on one of the cars at least. I also took a look at the coil pack location at the front of the motor, and I can see that there are 2 bolts holding the carrier plate in place that I am going to have to remove to get this unit out. One of the main issues that we are dealing with right now is that this thing starts to run really badly once it gets warmed up, and that is a classic sign of a coil pack going bad, so I will definitely want to be replacing those. Overall, I am thrilled that DXZtoz sent this unit over for us to take a look at. I have wanted to check out one of these units for a long time, and even if this wasn't a sponsored video, this would have been a super affordable option for us to check out. If you want to try out DXZtoz two-way articulating borescope for yourself, make sure to click on my link to it in the description down below, and I hope that you find it just as useful as I already have.